What's up, guys? I am Mario. Today I'm talking about Clubhouse. So, what is Clubhouse? So, it's a new app. It is February 2020, and I just started using Clubhouse like 2 or 3 days ago. I first heard about it on a podcast, This Week in Tech. It is an app that seems to be big with people that are into technology, and then people that are into like venture capital. There's a lot of people on there, and then a lot of people that are into like brand and marketing. It seems to be like a meetup place for those people, but it is an app that can suit any group of people. So the way this app works is that it is audio only. There are no pictures, there's no videos, there's no text, and there's no messaging. So even if you see someone else on this app and you want to send them a message, you have to go into their profile and then message them through, you can link your Twitter to Clubhouse, your Clubhouse profile, or you can link your Instagram to your Clubhouse profile. So there are different spaces, or there are different rooms which people on Clubhouse can go into, and then it is people in those rooms talking. So it's audio only. You go into the room and you hear what is being said on the room. It's a little bit different than some apps in that when you go into a room, you cannot speak right away. So there's two major levels in a room. So in a room, you go in, there's a stage or a place where the speakers are talking. You have to speak in the room, you have to be on the stage. But if you enter a room and you were not previously on stage in the room, you're just going to be in the room. And you can hear what the people on stage are saying, but you cannot speak yourself. Here are some of the things you can do when you are in the room, but you're not on stage. So you can raise your hand, or you can leave the room. And then the third thing you can do is there's like a little plus sign, and people that you know on the app, you can invite them into the room. So there's not a ton of options. You see who's in the room. You can click on their profile, see what they're about, maybe follow them. If you wanted to message other people, then again, you can't do it on the platform. You'd have to do it somewhere else. If you want to go into a room and speak, if you haven't been on stage before, that's what that raising your hand option is. And all of the rooms are different. So they're different based upon what people are talking about. So, there are a ton of interests on Clubhouse, I'm sure, and I only know the rooms that I've been in, so I don't even know what I don't know is happening on Clubhouse. But speaking from my limited 2 or 3 days of experience, so some of these rooms, you go in the room and you can raise your hand and you can go on stage and ask questions or interact. And then there's other rooms where you can raise your hand, but the room was created they're not really like a question and answer room. It's really a room where a discussion is happening about a topic, and the people that are discussing it are on stage, and maybe they might invite somebody up, but probably not. So there are some interesting conversations. So I spend personally a time, like the places that I've spent time in rooms where people talk about YouTube. I've spent time in rooms where people talk about technology. And then I spend time in rooms where people talk about like marketing, branding. And then once in a while, I'll like hop into just some random rooms to see what's going on. Last night, I was in a room where people were talking about, what if Steve Jobs was around and he was on like Twitter, and there was like some people that I follow on YouTube that were in that room, and I thought that was like a fun conversation. So even though a room might have a specific title, it doesn't necessarily mean that the conversations, the audio that's happening in the room won't necessarily be about that title or that topic. So here's some tips and tricks about going on Clubhouse. So if you want to go on Clubhouse right now, they're on like an invite only stage, which is probably a bad idea, because I know that when Google tried to do a social media network, they did it invite only, and then it didn't really work out for them. So maybe it will be like this for a little bit longer, but eventually I think the expectation is they'll open it. So you get an invitation from someone, and then once you join Clubhouse, then you get 2 invitations. You can invite other people. I don't remember exactly, but I feel like I clicked on an advertisement on Instagram, and it brought me into Clubhouse without an invite. My Clubhouse does say I was nominated by a specific person. You can also, when you click on people's profiles, in addition to whatever their bio might say, it'll also list like the person that nominated them or invited them. But I feel like the way that I got in was like clicking on like an ad in Instagram or something. So then you go in, and as you're signing up, it'll ask you what your interests are. And I know that it is so tempting to skip that part, to just be like, I'm interested in branding, and then that's it. But I do strongly recommend to slow down and actually go through the list of things that you're interested in and select the ones that you're interested in. What Clubhouse will do with that information is they will compile, or they'll create like a list of people that it thinks you might want to follow. And following is important in Clubhouse because you can only see a room if you follow someone that's in that room. So it behooves you to follow people at the beginning, and then you'll have access to more rooms. You can do search, and you can try to find rooms that are like on a specific interest, but do take time while you're signing up to click on the stuff that you're interested in. And then when Clubhouse suggests certain people for you to follow, I would follow a lot of them. It doesn't have to be everybody, but it does not help you to only follow 1 or 2 or 3 people. It's more important to follow a lot of people on Clubhouse, because then you can see more rooms. If you only follow a couple people and none of them are on Clubhouse right now, you're going to have a hard time finding rooms to go into. And then once you go into those rooms, and if you hear people that are interesting, or seems like they might like to go into rooms that you might like to go into, then I would follow them also. So that would be like the main tips and tricks would be slow down when you're signing up and actually follow people. And then when Clubhouse suggests, hey, these people have similar interests to you, follow all those people or follow a lot of those people. And then even before you start jumping in rooms, there are spots on the app that you can click, and it'll suggest even more people. I think it's a cool app. I like the audio only aspect of it because you do not need to really interact with your phone at all when you're on it. So there are a couple things you might want to do. So if you do get brought up to the stage, just like if you're on a Zoom call or something, you want to mute your mic unless you have something to say. So you can lurk very easily. So it is not a high effort, and I think this is a little bit of a different way to set up a social media than some that already exist. I'm sure some of the existing social medias are already trying to copy this, but I think it is a fun place to be. If you like podcasts, this is a good app to try out. Or if you are interested in specific topics that are popular on Clubhouse, I don't even know what I don't know about what's on Clubhouse, but I know that there are people that do like talk about technology, for example. There are people that like to talk about marketing, stuff like that. If you're interested in those topics, I saw real estate on there. So if you're interested in those topics, definitely something that I would check out. Let's do a little review. So last piece of advice is that if you do choose to go on Clubhouse and you are in a room where they are inviting people to the stage to ask questions or to, they say this like all the time on Clubhouse, to add value, do it. Just go onto the stage, say something. It doesn't matter if it is a good question or a bad question. Try to stay on topic if you can. But I highly suggest going into a room, and if it's a room where you can go on stage, just go on stage and just get it over with. Just one time, at least, to start. Because it is one thing to lurk in the channel and just like hang out, but I do think that you would have a better experience if at least one time you tried to go in there and hop into a discussion. Even if it's not your cup of tea, just break that seal, jump in there. So that is my last piece of advice. Have you been on Clubhouse? What Clubhouse rooms have you been in? Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And then if you have any comments, do leave them below.